Ziyanda Ngcobo has been monitoring that story for us in the High Court and joins us now live from just outside the court building. Ziyanda, tell us more about the case as set out by the Zuma camp today.
Well, two main arguments centered the proceedings here today. Jurisdiction being the main one, which is why did President Cyril Ramaphosa choose to go to a civil court to seek an urgent court interdict where he was then prevented from appearing in the dock in January this year. So the issue around this, you would have heard from the bite that just played, is around what the prescripts of Section 1061H of the Criminal Procedures Act prescribes. So the debates were, well, is this prescriptive or is it optional whether or not you can go to the civil courts or the criminal courts? Another issue that came up then from Dali Mpofu, who's representing former President Jacob Zuma, was around the conduct of the KZN Director of Public Prosecutions, Elaine Zungu, describing her conduct as being disgraceful. What was he talking about? He was referring to those two certificates of non-prosecution, otherwise known as nulli prosecuis, saying that when looking at her inability to confirm or actually say who exactly these certificates of non-prosecutions relate to, it caused a delay, and that she only responded in November with the second nulli prosecuii. And so this issue of the former president having an ulterior motive by issuing it on the eve of conference is actually, null and void, because when you look at and it was only took place 3 weeks after that certificate was issued. Let's listen to what he had to say earlier.
Then we had to threaten to say, if you don't issue the new certificate, you're going to be compelled to do so in a court of law. Please give us the new certificate on the 11th of October or of November. Again, they default. This time, I suppose we must be grateful, only by 10 days. They give it on the 21st of November, right? The former president tells this court that I received something he has been asking for all year. Now we're talking about Nazareth. There was no Nazareth when he was asking about this thing from April, May, June, July, August, September, October.
So, Tembegile, another issue that came up primarily now from President Cyril Ramaphosa's lawyers was then to emphasize that this litigation is frivolous, it's vexatious, and as I've already mentioned, has an ulterior motive on the part of Cyril Ramaphosa's predecessor, Jacob Zuma, saying that really the purpose here is to cause personal harm on Ramaphosa as an to incapacitate to be able to do his job as the first citizen of the republic. Now, you'll remember there was an issue of why Cyril is being represented attorney if he's being litigated against as an individual, and basically the president's lawyer saying that attorney is correct in representing the president because yes, he's an individual, but he's an individual that occupies a particular office, and he's an individual who is the bearer of constitutional rights. Let's listen to what he had to say earlier.
There is public interest in ensuring that the president performs his functions as required and he is not prosecuted unlawfully for the performance of his function, and that he is not subjected to an unlawful private prosecution by a private individual. There is a direct public interest in that, and the government is certainly interested in that. The office of the president that he occupies has a direct interest in such a proceeding. So the third attorney is quite rightly involved in this case to act for the president. So we submit in summary that the objection on standing both of the president as an individual and as an occupant of the office, and the objection to the state attorney's involvement are all unmeritorious, and the court should not hesitate to dismiss them.
Ziyanda Ngcobo, live for us from the High Court. Thank you very much for that for now.